Hey everybody, this is Tammy, and pretty soon my cat Mojito is going to join us, it looks like. Anyway, I just got back from Tyson's. They're kind of like a farm equipment store, and I got some plants, so I want you to plant with me. So what I got tomato or tomato. How do you guys say it? Is it tomato or is it tomato? Anyway, more specifically, this is a better boy and this is a better boy. So I got two better boys. I wonder why it has that name. Oh, look, there's Mojito. Oh, she's camera shy. She just ran off. So I have pepper, tomato, both better boys. And then I got this big one, just in case I need a little bit extra oomph in my tomato game. I really like tomatoes, and my goal is, oh, there's Mojito again. Say hi, Mojito. Mojito's doing a trick. I want to make salsa and spaghetti sauce and stuff like that. So here's Mojito. Mojito was named Mojito, so it has its own name. And as you can tell, Mojito really loves me. Don't you, Mojito? You love me? Can you say hi to everybody? Can you say hi? Okay, she's done. Let's go plant. I got a jar of dirt. Okay, so I'm gonna start with my, what's it called? It's called Bush Early Girl. Again, who comes up with these names? That sounds a little provocative. Anyway, so I have my dirt already done. And I want to show you something that I just learned, because this is a really big pot and I don't want to waste the soil. So what I read for filtration and for just draining, just to take pop bottles and put it at the bottom and then cover it up. So I'm going to try that technique with these tomatoes. I have two containers like this that has the pop containers underneath it, and then I'm going to plant this, and then I'm going to try another technique where somebody says pool noodles. So I bought a couple pool noodles from the dollar store that I'm going to cut up and put it in another container. But right now I'm going to plant this bad boy, or I'm going to plant this Bush Early Girl tomato. Okay. So from what I know, I am an amateur at this, but for what I know, you need these for stability. So let's talk about growth and mental health, because we are talking about planting and growing. So I heard this phrase once: if you're not growing, you're dying. If you guys have heard that, let me know. But if you're not growing, you're dying. That basically means, to me, it might mean something different to you, but what that means to me is that we need to always be growing and changing. I have a company called Seasons Change Counseling, and I called it that because there's a phrase that I used to say, not that one, but a different one. A phrase that I used to say is, it's a season, it's going to change. Change is good. You don't want to stay the same. Okay, so I'm going to pull the camera down here so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to take it out of the original container, because I've heard in order for things to grow, you need to kind of break it a little bit. So you need to kind of let the roots know that, hey, you can expand. You're not confined to this one general area. And I want my tomatoes to grow.
A strong root system is one of the key factors in growing a healthy plant. Some people say that healthy root systems do not happen by accident. So what I'm doing right here is loosening it up to let it know that you can expand. This is actually called loosen and aerate the soil. That's what I'm doing. I'm aerating. So I'm changing the root system to create change. I am changing the root system to promote better growth. Now, how can we apply this to mental health? So we all experience change. We have to change. Change is fluid, and it can also be positive change or it can be negative change. When things change in your life, it could impact your mental health. For instance,
relationship changes, job changes, whatever. We need, I already broke one off. That was probably the one that was going to produce the big tomato. Dang it.
In my personal opinion, it feels like in life we have to constantly just make adjustments. We have to do that for our growth and change. If we don't make adjustments, then we have this rigid, fearful almost lifestyle, and then when anything bad happens, it's really hard to bounce back from that. So if we're constantly trying to make adjustments when bad things happen or even when good things happen, it's going to add up, and over a time, over a week, a month, or a year, those small adjustments is going to put your life back on course. It reminds me of the time I went on a road trip with my husband. He's a semi-truck driver. And a lot of times on the highway, the lane suddenly slows down or it ends and you have to switch lanes. And a lot of times people don't pull over until the very last moment. But what happens? It's a small, simple adjustment that you make on the road. You switch lanes, you slow down, you might have to be rerouted, but eventually you get back on the right path again. That's very similar to growth and progress and making adjustments in your life to get to your ultimate goal.
Good. Okay. I'm going to try to pack that down a little bit. And I don't want to lose the name of this because later on I might have to Google how to take care of it. That's another thing too if you think about. So when we change, a lot of times we don't know what we're doing. We're just out there willy-nilly trying to figure life out. Sometimes we have to look it up. Oh, you guys, I just broke another thingamajiggy. Dang it. This smells really earthy. You know what I mean by that? It just smells like freshness. It smells like goodness.
If you think about the biggest moments in your life, the biggest moments where you have made the biggest successes or the biggest change, usually if you look back on it, you can reflect back on the times where you've had to make adjustments. So you can see adjustment is an important part of life, which we cannot deny, because it gives us new direction, it gives us new meaning, and it helps us change things for the better. I'm not saying at all that change isn't hard. Oh my gosh, you guys, I know change is really hard. As human beings, we are definitely creatures of habit. We like our traditions. We like our schedules, and I am all about that as well. And we also depend on our routines to keep our lives going smoothly and in order. I know for me personally, sometimes when I start off my morning bad, it really sets the mood for the day. I can really let it spin out of control. But what I need to do is make minor adjustments to make sure that that thing that happened at the beginning of the day doesn't determine how I feel the rest of the day. So again, making minor adjustments to create growth and change.
Okay, the other tomatoes. These ones are called Butter Boy. So we have Bush Girl and Butter Boy. I mean, these names are... Anyway, so I'm going to do the same thing as I did before.
So the stress that comes from change doesn't always need to be bad. Think about the positive stressors that you have, the big changes in your life that create new problems, but they're really good problems to have. The example I think of is the stress of getting a new puppy. Do I like the new puppy? Absolutely. Do I love her? Yes. Does it create stress? Abso-freaking-lutely. Having children. Does that create stress? Yes. Is it a good thing? Absolutely. Is it a challenge? Yes. Do I have to make adjustments to raising kids? Yep. And relationships, marriage. Oh my goodness. Talk about the adjustments you need to make on a regular basis when you're in a relationship with somebody. So change is good. Having stress and discomfort after you get married isn't a sign that you've made a mistake. Feeling frustrated that you're a bad parent after being a brand new parent doesn't mean that you don't love your children. The fact that I get stressed out, that I bought a puppy that is creating havoc in my household, doesn't mean that I don't love the puppy. So my planting of the tomatoes is almost complete. I had loosened the roots, I repotted them, I replanted them, I gave them some fresh dirt. I'm going to water them in a little bit. And we talked about change and growth.
What's left to do now is to enjoy what I planted, hopefully keep this little rascal out of the plants, and maybe I can have an update later on how well or how bad things grew. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have had some good luck or bad luck with planting, or have some helpful advice or tips on puppy training or on planting, I would really appreciate it. Love you guys. We'll talk to you later. Bye. Say bye, Gemma. Say bye. Go bye. Hey everybody, it's been a few months and I want to give you an update on the tomatoes. So, surprise, surprise, let me show you. So this one is the, if you remember right, I did the Bush Early Girl. There are lots of growth. Lots and lots of growth, huh, Jax? And look, I got some tomatoes. I'm going to pick this one. And I think I'm gonna leave those on there for a little while, but I did good. I got a tomato. This other one I planted was the Better Boy. And I haven't seen any red tomatoes, but I do have growth. And it's grown pretty big. So there are a lot of tomatoes just waiting to ripen. So overall, that planting method worked pretty good, don't you think? Big thumbs up for planting patio tomatoes.